Happy Halloween, folks. You're all the. What's scary about this? That's a real image of the sun, as well as this one, and I will explain this one later on in the spiritual report. But here's the sun, and this was taken September 10th of 2017, 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. The Revelation says the dragon stood in front of the woman. He stood in front of the woman 13 days in front of the woman. Signs in the sun. Well, I would say that is quite a sign in the sun, wouldn't you? All right, we'll get to this later at the spiritual report, but that's why I do solar reports and spiritual reports, because those two paths collide, and the sun isn't exactly what you think it is. All right, so let's go on over here to, you can see we're 10/30, 2023, October 30th. Let me pull this back a little bit after the intro there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that intro, considering we have Halloween. Oh, now it's Halloween. It's actually just turned. And here's our activity on the sun, October 30th, the date. That was today. Okay, you see a little spit and sputtering going over here, this weird little spike coming off there. There's a object over here with a V-shaped bow shock on the front of it, and we'll go zoom into that. And it's another one of those where if you speed it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed it up first. That's probably too fast. Right there's good. Alright, now I'm going to zoom in for you folks. Hello, Shastina. Hello, Anu Bell. Welcome. Thanks for coming by, folks. Alright. You can see it right here with its little white bow shock on it. Okay, that bow shock is going around an object right there. You can see the flow building up and going around it. Alright, so there's another object right there in that CME moving out. And then let me zoom back out, slow it down, and we'll look at this interesting feature that came off the top of the sun. Okay, so let's pause it right about, where'd it go? There it is. Interesting straight up and down, almost looks like a sword or something here sticking up. I don't know, this is just a strange CME. This little object maybe up at the front left a little streak or a little tail or something. I don't know. Let's zoom in closer and look at it though. So another strange little CME that came off the sun, off the top there. It appears that there's a round object up at the top, and this is some kind of streak left behind it. Let's go out just one more. There we go. All right, let's back up a few frames and start at the very beginning. So boom, boom, boom. All right. Pull this down a tad bit. Thank you for your patience, folks. Try to get it all on the screen here for you and use the buttons. Okay, here we are, opening frame at 0:24. You can see our event right here. We have the slow motion event going over here on the side already. All right, here's our little object right there. Then we have this sword type structure kind of go off the top. You can see right in here somewhere. Hopefully you guys can see this object. And you can make out this bow shock right here going, this is plasma hitting this round spheroid and splitting and going around it. Oops. A few little spits and sputters out of the top here. You see this big spire sticking up over on this side. I still expect some maybe more activity coming in this zone here. There's another little one squirting out here. You can't see that bow shock easily. Oh, you can see it easily. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a dead giveaway. These little bow shocks are just like they're a little magnetic field. And just like our magnetic field on the Earth. Let me back up to it. Well, we'll come back around to it actually. So let's just finish this up. That little one marches out. Okay, and then we have another event off the top. Here's our event off the side here. Let's get a frame right there. Let's go in just a little bit more. Here's our object, but doesn't it look kind of disc shaped instead of a spheroid? All right, zoom back out, go back to plucking away frame by frame. Okay, and then that was all the data for the 30th. Let's see if they got anything for us for the 31st. Oh, they do. So let's see what we got here for the 31st. We got 22 frames. I bet you got more than that. Let's see if we get more. Yeah, 22 frames so far. All right, well, let's just load up. This is now October 31st, 2023. Come on now, load up. There it goes. And it's not much. It's just first little bit of tomorrow, of Halloween. Okay, you can see our little object still here or something, and the sun's reacting to it, and there's stuff going around it. Let me zoom in on this. Ooh, you see it going around it, and then the thing at the very last kind of plucks up and lifts away. Yeah, I hope you guys can see this. This object, this disc, sits here for a minute and then plucks up and scoots away. Whoa. Yeah, right here, and then it pops up and flies away. It's bathing itself in the solar wind right there in the CME. Wow. I didn't see that until now. Well, that was Happy Halloween. A little trick or treat right there. Okay. So there's your activity for the 30th and a little bit into the 31st. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it on the GOES X-ray flux right here. All right, here's our little event right here, right on the cusp of the change of the day right here. Okay, so pop. The rest of it pretty flatlined, for all the activity that's popping off on the sun today, and it just kind of flatlined until the very last little pop right there. I showed you all the activity that popped off the sun, and this just doesn't show it. It doesn't show much, let's just say. All right, let's back out of this. We're having an absorption right now. Nothing too bad. It's getting into the blue, but we have X flare potential of 5%. It just went up like 5-fold. Here you see our M flare potential is 25%. Okay, this last little flare right here just came shy of the M class. All right, so I'm watching this one really closely. 3474. I know how God works, and this number combination, I'm just watching it closely, let's just say. And it's already beta gamma. Let's just pray it doesn't go beta gamma delta. Oh, look at this. These guys did a cute little face on the sun, too. But mine's real. This is computer generated. This, this is freaking scary. If you, let me zoom in a little bit. If you could wrap your mind around and understand what's really going on here, you'd probably have a heart attack. So it's good that it just looks like a spooky face on the sun to you guys. Okay? Let's get back over. Wait, we're here. So spooky face on the sun for Halloween. That one's cute. Let's come over here to the tracker. I'll zoom in on this real quick for you guys too. You guys are so patient with all this zooming in and out. Could it be another planet? Do you think? Oh yeah, it's definitely another celestial body. Okay. Um, what's going on here is our binary twin is nearby, and the solar system it that it's the mother star of, it has other planets with it, other celestial bodies, and when it comes around and it's close by, those celestial bodies also interact with the sun. Okay, I'll show you the main body that we have to be worried about. Okay, so you can see here on our tracker, it's moving away. Thankfully, objects still come to Earth. All these celestial objects are coming here to Earth for a reason. Okay, there's life on this planet. Why would they go visit Mercury or Venus or come all the way across the universe except to come to our planet? Okay, so a lot of this stuff is arriving here at our planet, even though it sends off a CME in a different direction. Hopefully, their pilots are getting the clue. Hey, we don't need you coming in on the front side here, sending a CME at the Earth. Come in the back door so the CME, flies away. All right, let's come on over here to the Schumann, shall we? And I'll just already kind of zoomed in as much as we can get on this instrument. This is a Russian instrument, or a Russian site, I should say. So we're lucky to just get it. All right, so here we go. It's not much to look at right now. It's pumping along nice and smooth here. That's good. You can see we had a little fading event right here. Okay. You can really tell when you look at down below. You can see how this darkness creeps down below. It coincides with these little weak events right here. All right. But we're still pumping along. If you look up top here, you can see it's since about right here in the lower frequencies, it's been scraping this whole time. All right, so there's something going on right at the core shell boundary that's causing a low frequency scraping. Okay, right below our harmonic, or right below our Schumann 7.83 hertz. Okay, and right here, it's hard to see, but there seems to be a little white spike at the very moment right now, right on the cusp, right on the edge of this. So it looks like we might be entering another event here, and when we get this energy from the sun, it gets directed to the poles. The poles direct it to the core. The core heats up. It's metal. It expands. The shell heats up. It's metal. It expands. But it can't expand outward because there's so much pressure from magma in the shell in between that the only way the shell can expand is back down onto the core. So the core is expanding outward and the shell is expanding inward, and that little boundary in between them is very thin. And any kind of blast from the sun or anything, solar wind, causes those two to swell on each other and grind. and that's why we're getting these spikes here. And when they grind hard enough, it makes skyquakes in the sky. And maybe we'll get to that one of these days. And that's where your skyquakes are coming from, is from the core and the shell grinding together. This sound emanates from the surface of the planet. It's a low frequency. It goes up, it hits the ionosphere, and bounces back down. Well, when these things go up and bounce back down, sometimes they crisscross each other, going up and coming down like a V shape. Then they intersect each other and become more audible. And then when they're powerful, they're intersecting each other, they become more audible, and that's when you guys hear trumpet blasts and screeching and howling sounds coming from the sky. It's the sound of that metal shell grinding on the metal core. Mystery solved. Anyways, let's move on here. So Siamese doing, or the Schumann's doing fine here. Let's move on to our earthquakes. Now, I wanted to do a report earlier today because this whole map was covered with nothing but 4 mid-range 4 quakes. All right. And since that outbreak of mid-range 4 quakes, since that earlier today, we have had a stepping up of it, and now we're having 5 range quakes. Okay, so this whole corridor all the way down through the system was all mid-range 4s. We're just going to kind of go in here and start doing this, and I'm going to do it kind of fast, but there's, whoops, we got to pull back. We're too zoomed in there. Sorry, my bad. There we go. So you can see right here, 4.5, depth of 234. Another 4.5 with a depth of 386. Our new quake that just hit is a 4.5 at a depth of 580. All right, so mid-range 4, right? Let's come over here. 4.9, depth of 29. Come on, give me this one. 4.4 at a depth of 30. 4.4, depth of 175. Here's a 4.6 in the Philippines. All right, so this whole map was covered with nothing but mid-range 4s. There's another mid-range 4. Up here, all 3 of these. 4.1, 4.6, 4.3. Over here, there were 2 in Africa. Let me just... Oops. And change this real quick. There was this one right here today, a 4. No, that was the other day. It was this one right here, 4.4. No, that's the 25th. Is it this one? Anyway, oh, maybe it's down here. Anyways, there it is. There's our 4.3 in Africa today. All right, they were on the map earlier. These other quakes have come along and busted them off. There's 3 mid-range 4s right here. Now they've gone, but we have this one that's a 4.4. Down here is another 4.4. So they're just 4s, mid-range 4s that went across here. Here's another one up here up at Russia. Okay, so all these mid-range 4s happened today, and then lately we had this one fire off, this 5.4 at Jamaica. All right, so that's starting to shake a little stuff, and they're not too, their infrastructure can't handle it as well. So then we had another 5.1 over here in Micronesia at a depth of 10. That's a shallow one. Up here at Japan was another 5.0. So throughout the course of the day, it upticked from mid-range 4s up to 5s now. So there's 1, 2, there's one right here. There's one on the, there's 2 more down here. A 5 right here at the South Sandwich Islands and a 5.1. Okay, so there were 2 down here at this fulcrum point. You see this fulcrum point right here, how this plate right here has pushed this way, and this where our tectonic plates meet 3 ways right here. This plate, and this plate all meet right there. All right. And then there was more fives. I think there was one on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge today too. So the fives started, the 4.5s all of a sudden jumped to fives, which tells me that one of these things is getting closer. We're having an uptick in our earthquake activity. Just hold on because we got more stuff coming. So right now, it's currently the latest one we had was right here. This is a 4.5 that's deep. It's at 580, so that's going to send more 5 energy into this system, okay? And then something, a 5 off right around, between the entry right here along this. It'll probably push these 4s up through here, these mid-range 4s up out of the way. We'll see a couple of 4 mid-range 4s pop off here, and then 5s coming in behind it. We haven't seen anything at this fulcrum point in a while, so there might be something a little bit bigger if this area goes off. Everything seems to have jumped this and comes up over here, so this will be locked up a little bit. We'll watch it closely. What else was I think that was about it. Yeah, so uptick in earthquake activity, and then over here in California today, we had this down south, a 3.4, all right? So it's at a depth of 5, so it's really shallow. So that's a mid-range 3. So watch out, we might still have some of this mid-range 4 energy come across and come down here and set off maybe a mid-range 4 quake in the Juan de Fuca, possibly here in the lower Southern California area where these two have been releasing energy in this area maybe. Okay, so let's back out. Yep, that's it. Let's come on over to our null school here to show you when the core swells and this magma gets pushed up to the underside of the crust. The heat comes up through the perforations and you get these flare-ups. So here's a good little flare-up of fires right here in South America. Up here too, again in north, and up here in Canada again. All right, you guys see this little flare-up coming up here? All these little hot spots popping off up here. And what kind of caught my eye is what's in this area. This is down in California, Central Valley area. See when I unclick it, those permanent ones that stay there, right there, those are permanent ones. And then when I let go of the button, other hot spots, the lesser ones pop in there. Okay. From the Lost Coast, can't. Huh. So up here in Oregon, a couple. Way up here in Washington, they're really getting a bunch. Okay. Let's go over here and check the New Madrid area. Nah, it's gone quiet. See, we have these events and certain areas go active and other areas go quiet, and you can almost watch it drift across the country. When the object passes by, you'll see the flare-ups here, and then they'll die down. The flare-ups here, and then over here, as this stuff dies down, you'll see it like travel. The flare-ups travel. Sometimes they travel north to south, sometimes east to west. Let's go look at Africa real quick here. See, Africa had all those just earlier today, and they're all gone. See, this was all bright red earlier today, and not a single one, maybe one. Madagascar has a few. But for the last few days, there were even ones up here in northern Africa. Look at this. Northern Africa, right here on the coast, has more hotspots than the south does. Okay, let's come over here and look at this region of the world. And see over here in China. And these coincide with the SO2 coming out of the ground. Come on, SO2. There we go. And take the wind off. All right, so when I had the gas off of there, you could see these fires are right in this vicinity, and then when I put the gas on there, you can see this is where our emissions are coming from. Okay. Up here where these fires are, see the little plume kind of coinciding with the hot spots. All right, let's come on over to the forecast model. Oh yeah. Okay, let's start going through this. This is the current time, nighttime of the 30th. There's the morning of the 31st, noon. The end of convection, we have our snow event up here. Watch out for lake effect snow and thunder snow in this little this storm coming in right here. It doesn't look like much, but it's packing a punch, and it has the black wind shear, so it could produce something, maybe even small tornadoes or even some water spouts and lake effect snow in this region on that storm right there. So watch that closely. That's the end of convection, Halloween. That's nighttime Halloween. Then we get into November 1st. That's the noon, the end of convection, the nighttime. So the nighttime up here, we got this storm coming in on the Pacific Northwest here. There we go. So that's between the nighttime of the first and the morning of the second. All right, so watch out. We got this storm coming in. It's got snow, freezing rain, and possible severe thunderstorms in there. It's even more stronger, or gets stronger here, at least on the potential through the noontime of the second. There's the end of convection right here on the California-Oregon border. Watch out for the end of convection on November 2nd there. Then it dies out through the night of the second. There's the morning of the third, noon. The end of convection, night of the third. There's the morning of the fourth, noon. Look how this is strung way back out here. So you guys going to have some rain there. We got another storm moving in the Pacific Northwest. That's the end of convection, the fourth. Then we go into the nighttime of the fourth. This thing starts to wrap up right here as this drives more into the interior, into the Rockies now. Yeah, this thing's winding up. This is the fifth, with already potential for snow on the backside, severe thunderstorms in the morning of the 5th right there. That's the noontime, the end of convection. That's nighttime of the 5th, morning of the 6th, noon of the 6th, the end of convection of the 6th, night of the 6th, morning of the 7th, noon, convection, night of the 7th, morning of the 8th, noon, convection, night, morning of the 9th, noon, convection, night. We have another storm approaching the northwest up there, the supposedly the night of the 9th. Now this is getting a little further out where our forecast isn't as accurate. So I'm just going to kind of plop through these now. It's the morning of the 10th, noon, convection. Here we got California right here. Something moving into Northern California, the end of convection, the 5 p.m., 4 p.m., that time frame for the Pacific coast there in Northern California. Then it gets even worse at the nighttime. So instead of petering out from the end of convection, at nighttime it actually blossoms more, and it has some residual cold and stuff back in there too. So snow back up in here and stuff. Severe thunderstorms in that area. The night of the 10th, that's even into the morning of the 11th. Here it's hitting the foothills of the Sierras, snowing up there. So that's the noontime of the 11th. Convection the 11th. Night of the 11th. And there's the morning of the 12th. Noon. Convection. Wow, look how this low comes in and starts wrapping on the 12th. Then we get into the night of the 12th, and it really starts to blossom. Watch out for this thing out in front right here. This is what we worry about. We got this nice comma shape right here, but this thing that pushes forward out in front is Something to watch there. That's Illinois on November 12th at 10 at night. Well, in the midnight hours for them. So that'd be midnight of the 12th. There's the morning of the 13th. So it's spreading up into Indiana, going back up here into Minnesota, even reaching back into South Dakota, going all around Iowa. All right, so Iowa's right in the middle of it, and it's all circulating around it. So then that's the morning of the 13th, or noon of the 13th. There's the end of convection, the 13th. Now this storm has really shapened up. It's got this perfect comma shape with this nice tail with scattered thunderstorms, severe weather popped up all up and down it. So watch that day, November 13th, the end of convection, Ohio, Mississippi River Valley area. Then it to Canada, causing this freezing rain event for you guys up in Canada. You'll have snow, freezing rain, and rain right in this tight little band, all three within pretty close to each other. Okay, so there's that. At the nighttime of the 13th, it drives up into Canada the morning of the 14th. There's noon time. There's the end of convection on the 14th. There's the nighttime of the 14th. And it even pops off here at the morning hours of the 15th on the East Coast. That's New York, Pennsylvania, the whole East Coast right there. And then it moves out through the noontime off the into the Atlantic as this system over here starts to plow into the Pacific Northwest again on the 15th. And that's all the data. So let's just go ahead and play this loop real quick for you guys. You can see that. Boom, boom, boom. Now, this has changed a lot since just a couple of days ago when I did a forecast, so this isn't set in stone either. All right, maybe the first 3 days are the most accurate, but anything after that, we got to see what happens on the sun first before, before we start predicting the weather because it adds to this. And sometimes I've noticed it can add to the weather on one part of the world and take away from it on the other side of the planet. So it seems like if one of these objects passes the planet at a certain angle, whatever certain distance, it will suck all the weather to the one side of the planet. And one side's weather will disappear and turn nice, and the other side of the planet turns into chaos. So sometimes we get a break, and other times other countries get a break, and we get hit. So got to watch this stuff closely. This is a serious game of life and death. Everybody kind of just, well, it's the weather and oh, blah, blah, blah. But if you can see what's going on around the rest of the world, there's some channels that I used to do the intros for that show just devastation everywhere. Saudi Arabia just got flooded. They got hit with, I don't know, but I just watching them in Mecca, Mecca, Saudi Arabia got flooded with golf ball size hail. So we're getting some bizarre weather in places that, it usually doesn't happen there. So plus the weather manipulation makes it hard to, yeah, the weather manipulation, you guys, is actually for your benefit. If they weren't doing what they were doing, our atmosphere would be so toxic you probably couldn't go outside. Okay, so your chemtrails are real, but they're actually to keep the radiation down and keep it from penetrating so much and giving you all cancer. when we have these dips in the magnetic field right here where there's no field, well, here there's a field, but sometimes when we get these blackouts right here where maybe a core lock where there's just no field generating at all, they probably got to do something, and some planes might have to be pulled out of the sky because it's dangerous there at that high altitude when you got no magnetic shield to protect you from all this radiation and stuff. So what happened? I must have X'd out a little bit. Alright, so that's it for the solar report and stuff. So let's move back over here to our spiritual report. Let me X out of some of these here and load up that other page that I got rid of. Now this event happened, this event that you're looking at here on the sun happened on September 10th, the days leading up to it, and September 10th, okay? So that's the day that my life turned upside down. All this paranormal stuff started happening to me on September, leading right up to the star alignment, and then everything happened after it. So let me pull up my other video here. I guess I accidentally X'd out of it. Bear with me for a second here. We'll process and all this stuff. Come on now. Yep, I had it set up, but I accidentally clicked out of it. Okay, so I'm going back down to pull up this one. Well, it's been a long time since that happened. A lot of stuff since then. All right, this one right here. Oh, howdy, folks. Welcome. Okay, I thought I was gonna have to do an ad. Okay, so I'm gonna play this little video here real quick, and a little explanation in here as to what happened there. All right, and how I got that image. How I got that image of this right there in a little pop-up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the microphone over here and play this video real quick. Welcome back. I want to put a disclaimer on this video. This is deeply disturbing. For those of you with weak hearts, out of the room, this is for mature audiences only. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I video for Halloween of this creepy face on the sun. And you see the two eyes, little mouth here, and as I was making this video, I noticed something else. So I'm going to put this into motion. Now take note of this date. This is September 6th of 2017. This is just 2 weeks before the Revelation 12 star alignment in the sky. Now did you see that? Something came from the right and blocked out the sun. Then it goes up and reveals again. So we'll go back one more time. All right, you can see that that object went up on that pass. First, it comes from the right. All right. Beginning of that, it started at a 620. Let's go one more frame here. 620. Here's half of the sun covered up. Now, a lot of people think that there's the aperture is closing and the satellite's turning 90 degrees and then the aperture reopens. Well, if it was an aperture, there'd be a straight line here. And as you can see, this is very jagged. So something, looks like a cloud or something, is moving across the sun here. This darkness starts at 621 and lasts until 7:10, roughly about 7:10, where it starts to expose the bottom half of the sun. Here again, there's a jagged line. There's no straight black line going across this. So I think this is an object crossing in front of our sun for 40 minutes. So while I was studying from this image to the next, oops, right there, while I was looking in between this image and this image, something happened. And my computer froze up with this image right here. I think we might be back. Let's see, I think we might be back here. If there's anybody even still left here. Yeah, let's flip that around. No. What is going on? Hang on, folks. I'm trying to get this to flip around here. Come on, flip around. There we go. All right. Well, looks like some of you guys are. Oh, come on. What the heck? What the heck happened to my... Oh, we're backwards. There we go. Alright. There we go. There we go. Alright, let me get a few things plugged back in. Sorry about that, folks. I guess, like that. Alright, so now we got that back up. Let's see if we can finish playing this. And my computer froze up with this image right here. And you can clearly see two eyes, the nose, the mouth, broken teeth, an evil grin. And my computer froze with that image on it, and it freaked me out. So I had the wherewithal to grab my camera and take a couple of shots of my computer of this face. So look at that for a minute, you guys. That's the sun. That is an actual image of the sun. Pretty freaky. So let's go back here a little bit. So in between this, and I can't recapture that image. Some kind of divine intervention stepped in and went from here to here and exposed that picture I just showed you of this right here. Now, if something did that, that's trying. I take that as something's trying to tell me that this is a real image. That there's more to it than just two eyes and looking like a face on the sun. That maybe the sun here. All right, we're not gonna get into a bunch of theory stuff that I did on that video, but that there is an actual image of your sun on September 10th of 2017, the same day Nibiru and the destroyer Nemesis caused a huge X-flare on the sun. Alright, and let's see, I think... Yeah, let's just go right about here in the video where I explain that part. Something I said before is this solar flare. If you look, there's a black object here and another one in here. I'll put it into motion here, and they're moving back out this way. See this one down here? Wings coming off this here, looking like Nibiru. Then the frame after that, whoops, bear with me, right here, you can clearly see, here's an object in the background here. The solar flare is draping over this object. Here is a conduit of material or plasma that it's sucking off of our sun into this. You can make out an impact zone here on this planet, and this one's sitting out in front of it here. Actually, it's a little hard to see it in this image, and what I've done is I did a drawing of it. If you can't see it there, what happened to the drawing I had? Oh, there it is. And let me just do something. We'll have to move the computer here for a second. So if you guys can't see that, the image that I'm trying to show you, just change some lighting here, is this. Alright, here, let's see. Alright. So there's your bigger object right here, sucking material off the sun. This plasma conduit is hitting the surface and spreading out in a round fashion. And it's better, it comes in better on a different video, but for right now, this is the event right here, September 10th. At the same time, this event happened the same time this face was on the sun. Okay, so the dragon appeared 13 days before the 12 sign, and there was another sign that everyone missed. It was this giant face in the sun at that time. And when this was going on, there were a bunch of hurricanes going on, and everybody was watching the news, and nobody else really noticed that this event happened. But oops, come back here. Oops. That's right, I am an Aries. Alright, so we're going to slowly go back to this. Alright, so we had a spiritual event on the sun during the September 10th event. The Revelation 12 states there was a woman bathed in the sun with the moon at her feet and a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant. We all saw the star alignment. We all understand. In the prophecy it says, then another sign appeared in heaven, a great dragon. It makes it sound like it happened afterwards, when it actually, if you read it correctly, the dragon stood before the woman, or in front of the woman, 13 days in front, or 13 days before the star alignment. That is the real Nibiru. That's the real Nemesis. Everybody else's stuff that they're showing you, little lens flares, and God showed me this thing. And I'm going to take you back to September 10th here just a little bit to a better image of this event. Oh, okay, cool. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma. Boom. Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into the planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Run this backwards. You can see it goes backwards. There's the second flare. Back behind the sun, comes back out. There's the first flare. So the mass of that object is sucking material off of our sun, causing these solar flares. Boom, right there. Back behind the sun. Comes back out. Second flare. And third flare. So there's your wake-up call. Alright, hopefully you guys can see. Whoops. Yeah. Alright, you can see it there. Let me back this out and put the one more time here. Hopefully you guys can see this event right here. It's not working too well. There we go. With Nibiru sticking out in front. Alright, that's a little drawing representation of what I did. What's kind of going on right there. God showed this to me on September 10th of 2017, and ever since this, my life has been totally different. Okay, it's the very moment everything changed for me. And at this moment right there, while that was happening, like I said, we had this face on the sun at the same time. Alright, so multiple signs in the sun, in the moon, in the stars during that time. Well, not in the moon, but in the sun and in the stars during that time, sorry. Alrighty, so let me get back to, showed you that now. I showed you guys the baby, the Revelation 12 baby that was born in my garage. You guys want to see that again? Go to this and just do a reading.
You arm your company with the most powerful server hardware.
Yes, I am a knight.
You could achieve 125 times.
And this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these. Okay, we'll freeze frame right there. You'll hear wars and rumors of wars. Look up. You'll see him coming in the clouds with power and great authority. Right there. Alright. Now, let me get some light on this picked up for you guys tonight. I need to wet my whistle here. Look up, your redemption draweth nigh. Signs in the sun. Signs in the moon. All the blood moons that match the tetrad and all the feasts. I mean, that is beyond coincidence, okay? So there's your signs in the moon. We saw signs in the stars with the star alignment, okay? Ever since that star alignment, all of this stuff has started happening to me, all right? Now we'll just kind of pick up right here. Hopefully you guys got a nice that as I read. Is that the one? Okay, yeah. You are a child of God. Someday you will see me as I am. You will be face to face with me in glory. Until then, I am training you to be made new in the attitude of your mind, to put on the new self. Although the new self is being conformed to my image, this process doesn't erase the essence of who you are. Instead, the more you become like me, the more you develop into the unique person I designed you to be. You have been a member of my royal family since you first trusted me as Savior. Thus, you're a fellow heir with me, sharing my inheritance. However, you must share my suffering if you are to share my glory. When you encounter hard times, search for me in the midst of your struggles. Ask me to help you suffer well in a manner worthy of the king's household. Everything you endure can help you become more like me. Remember the ultimate goal. You will see my face in righteousness and satisfied. Um, there's another. Oh, here. I redeem you from hell, crowning you with love and mercy. I wrap you in goodness and renew your youth. I give you these magnificent gifts because I take pleasure in you. Let my delight in you soak into the depths of your being, satisfying your soul. Although I see your sins and flaws, my perfect love never wavers. I look on you first and foremost as my redeemed one, weighed down and wrapped in beauty eternal. I want your identity as my beloved to be front and center in your mind. However, your thoughts often get stuck on trivial matters, especially when your mind. This is why I urge you to be alert and always keep on praying. Invite me to enter into your circumstances, including your thoughts, feelings, and decisions. Communicating with me will help you focus less on trivial matters and more on glorious realities. While you wait in my presence, I will renew your strength. Regardless of how old you are, you're always young in my presence. All right, that's it for tonight. Happy Halloween. That's also something about Halloween. It's one of the most evil days of the year, and a lot of pagan rituals, child sacrifice, all kinds of crazy evil madness goes on this day. I want you guys, as my elite, to pray for the children who will be getting tricked and won't be getting any treats. Okay, because there's a lot of human trafficking, child sex going on, and Halloween being kind of celebratory for kids, so they up and get some candy. Other kids are suffering, as you can't imagine. So let's pray for everybody on Halloween. Pray that these rituals aren't aren't successful. Okay, pray for these kids that they're abusing out there. All right, and everybody around the world. Everybody's suffering right now. We're going through it right now. I mean, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but it's going down. So it's important that you keep a hold of this. That's why I keep showing this image every time at the end of the show, because this is all right. It was very painful. These images, all right. I had to hold the camera up for like an hour, and I have a shattered shoulder, and my heart was racing. I almost had a heart attack trying to take these pictures because it was so important that I capture this for you guys. That's why I keep bringing it. We're getting closer to the end, and it's important that you guys know now. Faith can grow past that into knowing and be even stronger in your faith. Now you know how important prayers are, that they work. All right? You guys are the only defense out there. You're the prayer warriors. You guys understand this? I hope you do. You're little gods running around on this planet. You're not just human. Your consciousness, where do you think that came from? How come your consciousness doesn't reside in a dog or a deer or some other animal or some other? How come your consciousness resides in you? Where did that come from? It's not just a bunch of chemicals and synapses firing inside of a brain, because that's going on all over the place, and half of this population is not conscious. They walk around like zombies with their head in their phone. They're they're not even aware of where they're at. They have no situational awareness. They have no idea what's going on. They probably don't even watch the news, and they're off in So just be thankful you guys know that this is all real. That makes you the elite. Okay? These other guys are a bunch of criminals. They call themselves elite, so we'll call them that. I don't call them elite, I call them criminals. The real elite, if you look up the term, is you guys. You're the ones with the power, with the treasured information that's worth more. Okay, this is a real event. That's why I got to keep impressing on you guys how important it is that you share this with friends and family, and try to win them over. This is for eternity. There's people that have already passed that were like, why? No, why was I never taught this? How come, this was never impressed upon us? Wait a second. Oh, that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We have different ideas and stuff, but still doesn't change this image right here and the event that happened right here. Okay, this happened on Easter, and the day before this, showed up in the sky, and I showed you that one before in the same area. That's how I knew to come back the next day and take pictures at this area, because of the image, because of the event that happened the day before. And I've shown you the dragon that happened the day before. You guys want to see that? Here, we can go back to that real quick. Let me just type it in. It's a little easier. This is a spiritual battle between good and evil. The dragon is real. The devil is real. God is real. Jesus is real. And what's even more real, they're all here on Earth doing battle. Okay? Oh, there's a good shot of it right there. Let me just back up just a tad bit here. This event right here in this video that you're seeing in the pop-up right here. Whoops. I can get this pop-up. This happened over the same mountain the day before. This happened the day before Easter. I got it home, processed it, and then the next day made a video on Easter about this event. That night, I went down there and took the pictures on Easter, the next day, of Jesus in the clouds. All right? So let me just kind of do this one real quick here, if you guys haven't seen it yet. Come in. Here's the mouth, the eyes, the face, the horns of a dragon. I'll pull back a little bit, and I'll zoom in. Can you see the dragon? There's a good shot of it right there. Alright, the eyes, the nostrils, the open mouth and teeth, the flange coming off the side of the back of the head here, the horns coming up. Alright, so that event happened the day before Easter. Alright, we're in a spiritual war right now. Everything that you do has consequences in the spiritual realm, in ways that you don't know, but that I'm trying to show you subtly. Because it's hard to explain when... Alright, folks, welcome back. Something in this. Do you guys have seen this face before, alright? In the clouds. You see this half grin right here on this guy? Whoops, it's still playing. Alright, you see this evil grin on him right there? I'll just tint a couple of times. There's his eyes and his nose. And then you see this half smile, evil grin. The same grin we have right here. Oh, come on back to me. Play games. Do you see the same? Whoops. Do you see the same grin? It's half a smile, half an evil grin right there, and it's the same grin. Okay. Going on. So everybody, keep your prayers going. Wait. I want to leave off with this image instead. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place here. Okay, we'll just leave off with that image right there. Actually, I'll leave off with it changing back and forth. Alright. There's the Lion of the tribe of Judah with a crown over his head. Happened on Easter. Alright, so everybody take solace, have courage, keep praying, take care of each other, try to show respect to each other. I'm at a loss now, I guess. Thank you, Lord, for everything that we got tonight done. So I think that's it. I love y'all. God bless y'all. And until my next show, I'll be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?